Hi guys. I'm going straight into this right after finishing the quarry from last week, or possibly the week before, depends on how long this one takes to dry. So you can see it all set up at the top, but let's not focus on that right now because we need to get down to the depths of the cliffs because I need to bring in some water. Good news, everybody. I've looked on my photos from when I went down to Porthgain, and I have found that particular parts of the cliff faces don't have crashing waves on a nice day. What they will have is an awful lot of white water. So I'm going to go for that, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by adding a base colour for the colour, because I'm probably going to end up using some sort of resin here. And I say probably because, again, I don't really have a plan. I think I'll see when I did the Nangwernal River, or the ravine, I used a UV curing resin, which means it dries instantly. It's quite expensive for how much you get, but it's very nice to work with because you're not sort of checking on it, hoping it's not dripping down the side of your layout, which is nice. So I might order some of that and see how that goes. But in the meantime, this is the colour that I'm going to start off with. Now, I looked through my paints and I couldn't find anything that was close to water. When I look through the phone, it's bright blue, like I've got it from like a child's paint set from like a Monday market. So it doesn't look like that. It's actually, I've mixed a series of colours, which is, it's actually like, why is it doing that? I wonder if all right, Ribs. Nope, it still looks strong. That looks a bit better. See, it's almost greeny. It's like teal and green, and I've put some like blackish, brownish grey, like yeah, and the stone colour. Good point, Rupert. That was one I can't forget to add in. Rupert, don't you're hurting me. Right, come here. He's run off. Little tease. The next step here is to start weathering it in. So I've got the black that I weathered the rocks with when I sprayed them. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water just to dilute it down and start drawing it into the paint up the side of the cliffs and the paint at the bottom of the cliffs. And this is going to help me sort of blend in. There we go. Blend it in and sort of have a gradient, almost like those rocks are going down onto that water. And you can see the colour, hopefully, getting this nice gradient. And I'm trying to follow, like that. And if you draw it out, clean the brush every time, and then you get this nice gradient. And if it's too much, so I'm going to bring a bit more of the colour and push it back again, because it's wet. It can move around quite nicely. The paint is all dried, so I'm going to be ready to add some water. Now I'm going to be using UV cured resin, but before we get to that, I need to basically make a dam to stop the resin leaking out. So these are sheets of just thick, like thick perspex. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a bead of hot glue, hopefully. Although I question the abilities of my hot glue gun. So I might need to do two, because obviously hot glue is one of those things you really don't, resin rather, is one of those things you really don't want to be dripping out of said dam. So there we go, set that on there. That can sit nicely. I'm not done, so be quiet. Okay, that looks about right. I'll do it with the other two, and I'll probably might just add a little bead around the outside, but to be fair, because it's UV cured resin, I can stop it in its tracks by blasting it with UV, so hopefully it'll work out all right. So I think that dam might be all right upon reflection. And now comes the resin pour. I am using a UV cured resin for the speed, and since I've discovered this stuff, I'm absolutely all for it. So I'm going to squeeze the bottle in, and if this goes to plan, then it's not going to seep out. If it does, I can use my UV torch to stop it. And I've proven this by doing it just before on the other one as a test before the camera sees. So I'm going to fill it up so it's level with... No, quiet a minute. Yeah, no, you don't need to talk to me right now. If you need to tell me something, it's after the camera. Right, fill it up. My assistant, Pippi, is there any leaks?
Yeah.
Where?
It's dripping a little bit here.
Is it?
It's a bubble.
There we go. Is that about, that's about level with the one next door?
Right, give me
No, not yet. You do that bit after, Pippi. Right, so the other thing is there's little bubbles there, so I'm just going to pop those in the surface. Like so. Oh good, Rupert's in here as well, the gang. Yeah. Right. And then I'm going to get my UV cured, my UV,
Daddy.
hang on a minute, torch, and I'm just going to blast it. So you'd be surprised how quickly, oh that's the hot glue, Pippi, how quickly it will cure this. And I've done it a lot thicker than it suggests. It says really only a couple millimeters, but it seems to be handling it quite well. So my torches that I've used on previous projects are very small. So this is actually one I've just brought home from work. The technician in the science lab who got this said that it was off Amazon, so I'm actually going to buy one anyway. But it's impressive. I mean, I used it with a Year 11 class yesterday, looking at the electromagnetic spectrum. So obviously we brought UV into that. But it's so powerful. I mean, that's, let me see if that, how that is. I mean,
Rupert's not being quiet.
that's hard now. Done.
Daddy.
Done. All
What
done.
about me?
Talk about you. Pip is helping. She's eating marshmallows and dropping them on the floor. So it's coming to the part now, or it is at the part now, that I'm going to start adding texture to the water surface. Now, there are loads and loads of products you can use for this. There's some specifically designed for model waves and things, but I find the ones I've used, I didn't really get on with. They don't sort of clear up. They always stay very white and cloudy, and that sort of ruins the effect a little bit. So I'm using Mod Podge, and this is the gloss one. Now this I've used on other projects, and it's quite good because it clears up very, very quickly. And if you're impatient and have not much time like myself, then this is perfect. Now the other thing is, oh look, see that hole there? That's an actual, oh, you can't see it on the camera, it's okay. I was going to say, sometimes you have parts on the build that don't quite go to plan with water. I've done that very, very deep. I mean, you're meant to do it a couple millimeters deep, and I did obviously like that much, which is like 10 mil or something. So you get a lot of heat inside when it's curing, and it dribbles out, and you get pockets of air. But the white water obviously is going to help hide that, which is really handy. So I'm not too bothered. At the moment, what I'm doing is just getting a thick layer of this stuff on, and then we're going to start bringing in the actual ripples of the waves and things like that in the next shot now. Now the next thing is to add the wave effects, and I'm going to use air for that. Now this is quite thick, so I might have to keep coming back to do a little bit more because it's settling again. So you can see how it's hitting it with the old airbrush. We'll start to bring these ripples in, and it doesn't matter if it goes up the rocks, because obviously I'm going to give that a spray of gloss afterwards for the wet effects. So I'm starting to look for these like big ridges and things like that, and then I'll build on that through the layers. I've given that time to dry. It's been about 8 hours, so it needs more, but you can see how quickly that has well, it's dry to the touch. The whiter parts is where it's really quite thick, but that'll be gone probably by the morning. The only issue is it's very flat. So I've gone to go back on my word, and I've added very, very thick medium. This is actually a, what's it called? It's acrylic water. Well, it says clear. It does say clear water on it, so we will see. This is the one I was talking about when I said that I wouldn't trust it. And you can see, and obviously I am holding the camera for some, I lost my tripod. You can see how thick this is. You know, you could really build this up into waves. The only issue with that is, as I think I've probably said in the video, that waves are very fluid and not static. So I don't really want big waves on the layout. So I'm just going to keep dabbing them just to get that texture. And then I'm going to, hopefully, when they're clear, tickle the tips with a bit of white, just to give that impression of the white water above it, the foam and things like that. But this is going to need a lot longer. This might even need weeks to dry. So I think the idea that this is, well, this is the week you're watching this is not the week after the other one, the quarry one, when I said it was going to be. And you've probably by now seen my new project as well. And if you haven't, I strongly suggest you see what I've done, because it's a little bit shameful, but it should be fun, hopefully for me. So there we go. I'm going to keep going on that and get this done and see how it looks. Since the last clip, I can't even remember what the last clip was now. It's been 3 weeks, okay, since I've put this this gel down, and hopefully it looks like it's improving. It's still got such a long way to go, but I'm bored of waiting now, and I'll just let it cure over time, I think. I think that's what I did on one of the previous projects, and eventually it was tidy. What I'm doing now is I'm adding the white water or foam or whatever on top. This part I've always felt that I've overdone. Now on reference photos of Porthgain, there's quite a lot of it. So what I'm doing is I'm following basically the tips of the crests of the waves and catching them with a bit of cream. It's actually too warm of a cream for white water, but when you use, well, a colder white like the one that the gel is, I really don't find it looks quite right. I really like this colour. I also really like this job. I didn't realise I liked this bit so much. The final things I'm going to do is add one more really thin layer of Mod Podge gloss over the top of the waves, just to bring a bit of a shine to the foam as well, which, well, I'm assuming is going to be shiny because it's water. I'm also going to, at this point, start to bring it up the side of the rocks, only very thin, but just to get it, like, you know, a bit of spray and things like that. I think we'll call it a day there, and actually I'm much happier with how it looks in person than how it looks on camera, which I think is not actually very good. It might just be the angle I've done, but that it's quite nice how it's got a little bit of gloss coming up the sides. I might emphasize that a bit more as we go into it, but I'm not going to do any more now until I've started putting the scenics and stuff above, because, you know, this is going to come down quite far down here, so I don't want to, I don't know, I think I'll wait a minute before I get that far. You can see how I've done the 3 sections. This is dark here because it started, so when I sanded this back, I obviously hit a bit of a nerve there and it started leaking out again. So I resealed it using more UV, and that's just dry now, so that's okay. This whole thing's going to probably be black on the front. I haven't really decided what colour to do it. I always do black. I think black looks smart, so that's probably what I'll do. But this is interesting because with that done, and the cliffs done, and the quarry done, or ish, the next thing really, apart from the back scene, is going to be the land around it and putting it in. So she said. But with that, like, it's huge parts at the moment, I think, looks quite unfinished. But that's basically 1 week's update. We'll bring all that, you know, up to tidy, really. The back scene, I've been debating what to do with that, really, and I think the best way is going to be just sky, really, as opposed to, what do you call it, you know, fields and things. I think it would be better having sky, to keep it simple. But with that, what have I got next? Well, yeah, actually it is that, because if I keep going that way, I'm going to end up with the next board, and I'm sort of reluctant to show you the other board, but if we go there anyway, because we're all friends here, aren't we? Okay, so obviously I leave everything on here when I'm working on the other board. You can also see there's TT stuff down there, which you're going to see at some point. But apart from that, this is still an unfinished, well, almost unstarted board. So I will need to start that at some point. Probably with the engine sheds as a first, a bit like how I started with the weighbridge on the other side. Did I do that first? Yeah, be all right. I think I did, but it didn't come out in the same order on the videos, I think, because time is an illusion. So I'm going to go now because actually I just had yet another delivery of TT stuff, which I know is not in the grand plan here. We're not meant to be doing TT, we're meant to be doing 009, but yet here I am with loads of Model U figures and MS Models stuff and trains, and I've really sort of gone off the rails, pardon the pun, but they are TT 120 scale. I think they're 12, are they 12 mil? Yeah, I think they're 12 mil gauge. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a member. I love you. I have genuine love for you. If you are one of those people, if you are not and you haven't, then I'm a little bit reluctant to let myself fully go for you. Okay, so you sort at your end, you become a subscriber and stuff, and then I will fully let myself go for you, devoted. Cheers.